For WRCO News, I'm Phil Nee. Authorities in Wisconsin say 5 people died in a vehicle crash Friday night. The Dane County Sheriff's Office reports the vehicle crashed into a tree off a roadway just south of Verona. Also, the Sheriff's Office says the vehicle caught fire and all 5 occupants were pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities have not released their names and ages. The cause of the crash is under investigation. On Friday evening at approximately 9:31, the Monroe County Communications Center was informed of a crash on Interstate 90 east near the 46-mile marker, west of the village of Oakdale. The crash involved a construction worker and a pickup truck. As a result of the crash, a construction worker died and both the driver and passenger of the truck sustained injuries. During the initial investigation, it was determined that the truck driven by 25-year-old Isaac Morales Jr. was traveling east in a construction zone on Interstate 90. The truck struck the rear of a semi, lost control, and collided with road service machine driven by a construction worker. The construction worker, 35-year-old Andrew Skupnowitz, was pronounced dead at the scene. Interstate 90 eastbound near the 46-mile marker was closed for approximately 6 hours to allow for investigation of the scene, removal of the vehicles involved, and cleanup of the scene. Alcohol and speed is suspected to be contributing factors in the crash, which remains under investigation by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. No further information will be released at this time. A jail altercation last weekend has led to 2 people being arrested. Vernon County Sheriff Roy Torgerson reports the arrests were made following an altercation that occurred in the county jail last Saturday night in the city of WRCO. At approximately 8:30, correctional officers were alerted and immediately responded to a sudden physical assault in one of the dormitory-style cells. Correctional staff separated everyone involved to ensure scene safety and rendered aid to the victim, a sentenced inmate. The victim was transported to Vernon Memorial Healthcare in WRCO by Gunderson Tri-State Ambulance. The victim was released from the hospital shortly before midnight and returned to jail. As a result of the investigation by the Sheriff's Office, 2 sentenced inmates, Zachary James Blackwood, 21 of South Wayne, and Demondre Andrew Tyshawn Frazier, 28 of La Crosse, were both formally arrested late Thursday morning. Bail hearings for both Blackwood and Frazier will be scheduled in Vernon County Circuit Court. Battery by prisoner in the state of Wisconsin is a Class H felony. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump hosted dueling rallies within miles of each other in a fevered final push for votes in swing state Wisconsin's largest city yesterday. Milwaukee is home to most Democratic votes in Wisconsin, but its conservative suburbs are where most Republicans live and are a critical area for Trump as he tries to reclaim the state he narrowly won in 2016 but lost in 2020. Trump was in downtown Milwaukee while Harris was in a nearby suburb. The rallies Friday may be the candidates' last appearances in battleground Wisconsin before Election Day. Megan Wolf, administrator for Wisconsin Elections Commission and chief elections official for the state of Wisconsin, held a press conference online Friday afternoon. She stated that Wisconsin is the most decentralized in the country for elections, with 1,922 local elections.
Where most other states run elections at the county level, in Wisconsin, it's the municipal clerk in each city, town, and village who registers voters, issues ballots, maintains the voter rolls, and trains poll workers. County clerks also play an important role in assisting with clerk training, printing ballots, and posting unofficial election night results.
Unlike some 40 other states that have a Secretary of State to oversee elections, usually an elected official themselves, Wisconsin has a bipartisan commission.
In Wisconsin, the state's elections are overseen by a 6-member bipartisan Wisconsin Elections Commission. The commission has 3 Republican commissioners and 3 Democratic commissioners who are appointed by legislative leadership of the 2 major parties. And I and the staff of the Wisconsin Elections Commission are required to be nonpartisan.
Numbers for absentee voting as of Friday morning were 645,190 mail-in absentee ballots requested, with 537,645 returned, and 801,083 absentee ballots have been returned by voters. This is a 48% increase in absentee voting over 2020 numbers so far this election. Megan Wolf added that there has been a lot of inaccurate information floating around about non-citizens voting in the state.
Let me be clear, under no circumstances are non-citizens allowed to vote in the state of Wisconsin, ever. In order to vote in Wisconsin, voters must certify on their voter registration form that they are a U.S. citizen. Further, most Wisconsinites present a photo ID to vote, and that can include something like a Wisconsin driver license or ID card, a U.S. passport, a military ID, a certificate of naturalization, documents that require the voter to provide legal status documentation to the government entity who issues them.
The general election will be held Tuesday. Polls will open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Over 1/4 of Wisconsin schools are seeking a referendum this fall. With more, here's Civic Media's Jimmy Kuska.
On Tuesday, Wisconsin voters in 121 school districts will be asked yes or no on referendum questions. Districts are seeking a total of over $4.2 billion from local taxpayers for operations and facilities projects. State Superintendent Jill Underly says the number of referendums is proof that public education is underfunded in Wisconsin.
School districts are telling us that they need more resources. Most public school districts have gone, are going, or will be forced to go to referendum just to make ends meet.
Underly has already announced DPI budget requests for next year, calling for over $300 million in youth mental health services, a free meals program for students, and an initiative to recruit and retain educators.
The DPI's next biennial budget request will again ask that we fully fund mental health aid for our students.
Just this year, school districts have asked 243 referendum questions for a total of nearly $6 billion in additional funding from local taxpayers. For Civic Media News, I'm Jimmy Kuska.
Locally, the Ithaca School District is asking voters to approve an operational referendum in the amount of $1.3 million each year for its duration of 4 years. As its name implies, revenue received via an operational referendum is used to meet the costs associated with operating the district, which may include attract and retain qualified teachers, Chromebooks for one-to-one instruction, access points to provide a reliable internet connection school-wide, additional safety operations, and a school bus with the intention of returning to a biannual purchase rotation to minimize repair costs. In addition, the Baraboo School District is seeking $85.7 million. The Iowa Grant District is seeking $1.2 million. The Lafarge School District is seeking $900,000. The Wisconsin Dells District is seeking $4.5 million, and the Reedsburg District has 2 referendum questions totaling $30 million.